Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tato's Hardcore Media. Thought I'd do this real quick. This is from 6 days ago, but I just want to do this pretty much a testing thing. This Kamala Harris interview on CNN, of all places, grilling her on some of her um, stuff she's been saying about illegals and stuff like that. Sorry if the screen isn't all together. Um, OBS their stuff is crap. But anyways, let's take a look here, everybody. Second here.
University from Flourtown, Pennsylvania, registered Republican, says he's leaning toward voting for you, but is yet to make up a final decision. Jackson.
Thank you, Anderson.
Hey, Jackson.
Thank you for taking the time to be here, too, Vice
You
President
too.
Harris.
Thank you.
Regarding the rapid increase in the migrant population, how will you ensure that every immigrant is integrated into American society safely? What benefits and subsidies will you provide them with, and how long will these benefits and subsidies last for an individual? Most importantly, will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
That was a great question, but let me also stereotype him really quickly. Listen, man, even though Anderson Cooper said that this guy was a registered Republican, he also said that this guy was leaning towards heavily voting for Kamala Harris. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
100%.
I think he's
Listen,
BSing too.
I know the same way that we know who was.
I think he's BSing as well. I think that he's just saying that so he can get the question out and everything. If you said that he was a conservative or whatever, I don't think that he'd get that question out there very well. Me, I'm independent. I'm not Republican or Democrat, though I do see a problem with our illegal immigration problem, especially where they're busing people in for votes and stuff like that. We have a huge border crisis. Anyways, let's get
what's
back
happening
this.
in the hood, or we can identify, we use our context clues. He ain't never considered voted for Kamala Harris. That dude is a plant from the Republican Party, or maybe on his own will, or whatever it is. But that boy ain't never thought about voting for Kamala Harris a day in his life. That is a certified 100%.
I think
will
he's
be
right.
For the rest
I
of his
think
life,
he's right.
Trump supporter, and so am I.
I think he's
Well,
right.
thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time.
Yes.
And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border.
But you've had 4 years to do this. You've had 4 fucking years, Kamala. As borders are. You haven't done shit whatsoever. You haven't done a fucking thing with the border. You've actually let in millions of illegals in, and they've taken our housing. They have taken SSI, get SSI for free, SSDI, to get free rent, at least for an X amount of months or longer. And other people on the streets that need housing, vets, are not getting housing. It's going towards illegals. And you have, in some of these states like Colorado and other places, New York, you got Chicago, they have gangs taking over areas. They're taking over, they're taking hotels over, they're taking motels, and in Colorado, you have a problem where city officials are making money off of illegals. getting money from federal government subsidies and stuff. And I put on different other sites about it where corrupt city officials are actually kicking out Americans out their homes. To put in illegals, they put in about 13 people in one house, would be normal 5-person or whatever. And they're getting government subsidies. The city officials, of course, are making money from that. You got them kicking out Americans out of their homes, apartments. They're bringing illegals in to these areas around the country, and they're getting subsidies, they're getting paid to funnel them in and stuff. She's had 4 years. What this is really about is the vote.
I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters have.
That has prosecuted transnational gangs. Listen, everything that she said up to this point, we've heard 1,000 times. He asked some pointed questions. How is this process going to work? Is it going to come out of taxpayer money? How much is going to come out of taxpayer money? So on and so forth. There were some really intelligent questions, and I think that he framed it beautifully to get this about her. We don't want to hear it. I can already predict what.
Let me tell you one reason why Trump said Mexico would pay for the wall. That's because of trade that we have. Mexico said we're not paying for anything. The thing is that they would be paying for it via taxation or whatever, for letting all these illegals through. Of course, Democrats and Republicans are at fault. Both sides, again, you've had both sides that have had control over, the border crisis. And why don't they fix anything? Well, for Democrats, it's all about votes. It's all about votes, and they don't care about the Americans. Look at Hurricane Helene. And people that have been dying over there in North Carolina and other places. You can say it's lithium, you can say it's gemstones, stuff like that as well. But there's a two-tier system. One for illegals, one for Americans. And it's illegals first, Americans last. Where they don't think that Americans have the same rights, liberties, and they shouldn't get the same type of funding resources as illegals. And they don't care who comes through our country. Our ancestors had to really work our asses off. And I got some Native American stuff like that. I have multi-ethnic background. And our ancestors did get in this country for you had to work your way. Alright? And if you're sick, a lot of times you weren't allowed into port. You were not allowed to come in. You were not allowed to come into the country until you got an all clear from New York, New Jersey. Everyone else that's coming in now is not vetted. They are not screened. They are not, the same way. And you don't have to have a job. You don't have to have a work. And it's not just, that's the thing. Is that our ancestors got nothing for free coming in. Illegals nowadays are getting everything for free. And they're taking America's resources. They're taking me, I'm poor. Pretty much. And you know, I'm on the street a lot. I go out to get groceries. I use buses, stuff like that. I see how, you know, poor people are. People can't afford food, and you go without food, and everything costs too much, especially in the crappy state of California, which idiots have voted a lot of idiots into office. I think there needs to have both Republicans and Democrats because both are extreme. If you keep balance, then hopefully keep balance. But when illegals are taking every resource away from Americans, especially those that are working and earn their way, versus illegals that expect everything for free and they expect a handout. There's a problem with that. Anyways.
She gonna say we don't want to hear about transnational gangs. We don't want to hear about fentanyl. We don't want to hear about none of that word salad. We want to get straight to it.
Gangs, fentanyl.
I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations.
No, you didn't. You didn't do that whatsoever. You put more people behind bars, though. It's not like that for stuff like marijuana, which is bullshit. You were a prosecutor in San Francisco and everything. This is another thing that you don't hear about on the news. Tribal lands. You have sex trafficking, you have trafficking, and you have rapes going on. You have girls going missing, women going missing in tribal areas from illegals coming in. This is not getting reported, but it's happening. The Navajo Nation, I did a report on that, got the report out and stuff. That was from, is that Santileo? Is it Peter Santileo? YouTube? And there are those fentanyl drugs coming in, cartels coming in. And you have, not just in Navajo Nations, but across California, Arizona, other states, east, you know, you have stuff going on in Georgia, other places, illegal stuff like that, farming going on, type of trafficking. I could go on and on, but
trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in, and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country.
You've been allowing it. You've been the border czar for 4 years.
As my opponent has proven himself.
Why is she talking about Trump and why is she stumbling over her words? Oh man, I can't believe that y'all would consider having this woman in the White House as the president.
Again, I gotta say, I'd vote for Trump for the border stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about Trump. But I like America first. I vote for some Republicans on some things and then Democrat on others. Because both sides are fucking extreme. Both sides. And me having been around some stuff in the adult industry, I don't like the religious BS of conservatives and their own type of censorship. I don't like Democrats, what they're doing with their censorship thing either. It's saying they call it misinformation. Both sides use that when they don't want the other opinion or other side heard. They'll even say that's terrorism, and it's not. It's just another person's views or another person's facts, and they label it as misinformation because it counters theirs.
In the United States of America.
he would have trafficking to happen and come into our country. And as my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem. You may know there were some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress working with others that came up with a border security bill that would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border.
What happened in 2001 and 2022? What are we going to do about it? How are we going to pay for it? How much is going to come out of taxpayer dollars? How long is this process going to last? We want details. That was a beautiful question, and whether she answered it or not, it exposes exactly who she is. And nobody, not Ricky Smiley, not Jamal Bryant, not Charlemagne the God, can fix this and save her from what is about to happen. Oh no.
Charlemagne was a suck up for Kamala Harris. This is another thing. During Hurricane Helene, Kamala Harris went on Call Me Daddy when people are dying, and they still are. There's a big cover up in North Carolina and these eastern states. That was for going off FEMA, stuff like that. Huge cover up. And this is the reason I hate the government, because they're bullshitters. Covering up the truth. And she wanted to call me daddy. It'd be fine if people weren't suffering and dying. Instead, she slaps everybody in the face and pretty much says, fuck you. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I'm going to an adult show. It's like, you bitch. You bitch, you go there, it's like, you know, it just goes, fuck you to the American people. And those that are in need and dying. Not getting aid, not getting anything. And you had all these other people that weren't allowed to give aid, and FEMA and contractors were attacking people trying to give aid. Contractors using helicopters to harass people. And keep them away, keep people off roads from helping others that were dying with medical conditions.
November 5th.
Those border agents are overwhelmed. They need the support. They need the backup.
It
would have allowed us to have more resources to stem the flow of fentanyl. I don't need to tell this state and people around the country what is happening in terms of the scourge of fentanyl and how it is literally killing Americans. It would have put resources into stemming the flow. It would have given more resources to prosecute, to investigate and prosecute transnational criminal organizations. It would have done a lot of good. Donald Trump got wind of the bill and told them, don't put it forward. He killed the bill because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. We have to have a secure border, and we have to have a comprehensive pathway
it's just so much
for
bullshit that's
citizenship.
coming out.
And that includes requiring people, hardworking people, to earn citizenship and do it in a comprehensive, humane, and orderly manner.
Let me ask you about that. I mean, you talk about the bill that Donald Trump quashed, that was in 2024. You talk about the bill he tried to get passed in 2021. That wasn't able to get passed. 2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
Yeah.
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigrants.
She has not. It's still overflowing. To this day, cartels are also trafficking people in as well. People with the illegals that have money, they're paying them. If they have the money to do that. Her and Biden ripped up all the stuff that Trump did to circumvent illegals coming through. They tore it all up. They got rid of all of them. All presidential orders and stuff that was signed.
Immigration by
I'm surprised that Anderson Cooper actually pressed her.
over half.
Because she didn't answer that boy's question, not even a little bit.
In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that
But hold
easy
on, let
with
me
that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we
Yeah,
were
why not?
working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
could've.
We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action. Congress has the authority and the
And
curse.
you've had a chance to
hate
do
to use
that.
DC terms, but
Again, both Republicans and Democrats, two-faced, have had control of Congress. They could have changed things on abortion. They could have changed things on the border. Both Democrats and Republicans. Did they know? You know why? Because they want to keep fighting about it. They don't care about the people. They're putting on an act. All I do is attack it. It's all a joke.
literally they write the checks. Part of the issue is in order to really fix the problem at the border. I was just at the border recently talking with border agents. You know what they
First
talk
time
about?
at the border
Yes, they
in
are
4
overwhelmed.
years.
They're working around the clock. And the other thing that they talk to me about, we need more judges down there to deal with asylum claims.
You know what also?
Deal with asylum claims to let more illegals come through. Take our country's resources, funnel all our resources, all our money, and put our debt into them. Mind you, Border Patrol is a part of the problem. The sickness of where they have actually destroyed fencing in Texas. They took bulldozers and stuff like that, and they let them run right through. The sons of bitches did. That's unforgivable. Right at the border, they tear up their visas before they come in. And they just go right through. Border Patrol is a bunch of fucking criminals.
So they said that they endorsed Donald Trump for president. That's a fact. They said that they endorsed Donald Trump for president, and they also said that you haven't been visiting the border since you've been in office over the last 3.5 years. Listen, man, y'all can let the word salad all day long, but I'm telling you that it is going to be a wave of red that is going to flow over this country because people know what's really happening.
I have
and
to
they are
say,
not
I
stupid.
have to say,
Since
I
you've
don't,
been
I
in
don't
office.
want, I don't want a red wave. I don't like conservative Democrat extremists. I hate that. I don't want a red wave.
Office over the last 3.5 years. Listen, man, y'all can let
What I want, and both sides are a bunch of bullshitters. In order to be balanced, you have to have both. You ain't gonna get hard, really. If they definitely, we're not gonna get anything done anymore with the way that both sides are anyway. But just me is I voted for Republican president. I voted for Democrats also. Keep it balanced. Both sides. I voted for both sides. That's just me.
the word salad all day long, but I'm telling you that it is going to be a wave of red. You don't have enough people to be able to vote based off
Anyways,
of
that's
identity
just me.
politics to save her from herself.
We need more personnel down there to deal with processing. But Anderson, and that's where Congress kicks in terms of dedicating the resources to actually fixing the problem. We have dealt with it such that, to your
You do not deal with it.
point, we now, as of today, as of our visit, have lower undocumented immigrants and illegal immigration
That's not
than
true.
Trump when he left office.
That's cap.
No, that's
And
not
they're flying them
true.
over here with a new program. So listen, they lying. They just lying straight to y'all faces, and they expecting for y'all to go for it.
That's true.
But we need a permanent solution,
you
and that
wish you had
requires
done that?
bipartisan work.
Do you wish you'd done those executive orders in 2022, 2023?
I think we did the right thing, but the best thing that can happen for the American people is that we have
You did the right
bipartisan
thing by
work
allowing
happening, and I
everybody to come
pledge
in.
to you that
Like I said, this is about votes. This whole thing, she did the right thing, of course. It's about the votes. Just so we get an election. That's what it is. Anyways, this source, tell me what you think. Leave a comment, leave a like.